Hello everyone, this is the
Okay,
second
we're in
day.
the
Oh,
show.
are you?
Oh my.
We're on stream now, by the way, guys. You forget about that. This is the second day of the MMO Circles versus Imperial, the MMO Circles Imperial versus Cambridge League of Legends tournament, and what a match we've got to look forward to. We're currently waiting for one more guy to join the lobby. We're waiting for the match of Bunch of Randoms versus ICawin. Uh, what do you think of the game to come, Toby?
Well, we might see another repeat of yesterday just based on the rank disparity. But I mean, those were some entertaining matches we saw yesterday, so potentially we'll see some more hilarious clown fiestas. I've actually got a word that T Roland's online, so we might see him shortly.
Yeah, so we
Oh,
might.
okay, he's still updating
He's
his client.
he's still patching, so we're going to be getting into game shortly. But first of all, I'm going to look at introduce everyone to the players. I'm not entirely sure I got the names correct, but from ICL we've got the team is ICO Win. We've got Your Cookie Only, T Roland, Helvan, Ricky P97, and who's the last person?
Uh, that's Azaline.
Azaline is the last player. And on the side of Cambridge, the team is Bunch of Randoms. These teams have actually never played before as a 5, and we've got Pink Floyd Cool, Optimal, Robotic Reality, Equinox R, and Daily Lemon Water. Now, the elo difference between these two teams is something to be considered. We have silver, plat, gold, gold, silver on the side of Cambridge, but for ICL, diamond, plat, plat, diamond, silver. So we are definitely looking for Cambridge to pull out something special here. Maybe a cheese. What do you think? What's the best chance for a low elo team?
Well, I think they have to pick mechanically easy champions.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, I think you also have to rely on ICO in messing up a lot. So
Well, yeah, that's
maybe...
true. The teams we did see yesterday in the ICL's team extra thick, which is apparently better than this team, but they were getting overconfident. They were making mistakes. There was definitely many things they could have improved on.
Yeah, especially the jungler from extra thick. I think he got caught out quite a lot. It's up to ICO and jungler not to fall into the same mistake.
Yeah, and we were talking before the stream about my experiences when I've played in tournaments before, where we have gold teams versus diamond teams. Actually, the gold teams, the diamond teams, when they pick difficult champions, the diamond team picks the Yasuo, the Lee Sin, and then you have the gold team. You have Annie, Malphite, Warwick, and all these champions with point and click stuns, and they're just more cohesive as a team. They just run around as a pack of 5. They tend to do much better in those situations. We had struggles at our own where we pick all the high mechanic champions, and there's 5 people ult us at once on Jarvan, Malphite, Warwick, and there's nothing we can do. So that's the kind of thing we're expecting out of, or at least hoping out of Cambridge. Or at least I am. You're probably biased. I'm from Cambridge, guys. I'm Samuel Sylvester. This is Toby Shaw from ICL.
Yep. I mean, I'm from Cambridge originally as well, so I do have some allegiance
Oh, from
to you
Cambridge
guys,
originally. Okay. So the true objective caster, right?
Oh yeah, actually we've got our new true objective caster just in the call right now. Ender,
Yeah.
are you here?
I am here.
Okay, so we're live, by the way. Yep, so unfortunately our third caster couldn't make it, so we've replaced him with Ender, who is another
Oh, hey.
talented caster from Imperial.
Although I have got stuck into the OK restart loop.
Okay, so potentially you might not be joining us.
I might not be joining you. Perhaps the first game.
Maybe we can have some pick bands analysis from you.
Yeah.
So, Ender, you actually played yesterday, extra thick. Now would be a cool chance to do a winner's interview. How was it? How was it in that top lane?
Oh yes, Chaos Effect. You destroyed on that top lane. For those of you who can't remember yesterday's stream, we had a great showing of a Gnar versus Fiora who won. Despite the Fiora after the match complaining that they banned all of Fiora's counters and still managed to lose. What was the second game matchup?
Ornn versus Katarina.
Ornn versus Katarina, the meta
classic
matchup.
played-up.
The meta matchup. How was that? Were you worried going at all into the Ornn versus Katarina?
Not really.
That's a no.
I mean,
You had too much experience
I
with him for the first game to be worried about his ability for the second game.
I wouldn't include Katarina in the god tier top laners at the moment.
Well, yeah. I mean, certainly. How was it? Because yesterday's team comp of the second game, the team comp out of Dirt Division Ambassadors was quite a Dirt Division team. We had Katarina, Syndra, Kane, Blitzcrank, Vayne.
So
Were you worried coming into that game?
I mean, I was more worried going into that game than I was
Yeah.
in the first one,
'Cause
just because it felt like they were all on. They were all.
they were
picked
comfort
picks.
champs. Yeah, the
Yeah.
first game they tried to pick meta. The second game they were like, nah, this doesn't work. They're too good. Let's
Hey.
just pick our comfort champs.
I've managed to escape the infinite loop, so.
Well, that's good.
Ooh.
That's good. We're still waiting on someone to. We're still waiting on one player to update.
Hey. Well, I actually think that the Division were a really good team because they didn't like give up in the first game, and they obviously tried to win second game as well, even though it was slightly unorthodox tactics. They definitely
Yeah,
very
they-
sportsmanlike.
Very sportsmanlike. Yeah, they definitely try hard. They told me afterwards, the captains of the team told me they had a lot of fun. They want to be included in all the rest of this tournament. So let's see if we can get more.
Yeah. So Endo, do you have any experience with the ICawin team? I believe you guys played in the. Have you played against them in the in-house tournament?
What can you tell me some of their usernames?
So Ricky P 97, you might remember that one.
Oh, I've got him.
T Roland, do you know that guy?
I vaguely remember their names, but I don't remember much about the other Imperial teams. I'll be honest.
Okay, that's fair enough. Obviously, you guys have your sights on number one, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
all the other teams don't really matter. So
Just as a reminder to everyone still watching the stream, we are waiting for one more person to patch. T Roland is currently still updating his client. He has a potato computer, typical ICL, I guess. So hopefully we'll be getting to that game shortly.
Oh yes.
is
I
that a common
remember that.
stereotype?
Oh, it was that game. Oh, yeah. There was a. I remember the game now. It's gone down in history on the Imperial Esports Facebook page with a highly skillful level 1 invade, which ended up with like 6 kills in total.
Hmm.
I think I played Wukong top, as far as I remember.
Yeah, so one thing to be consider here is that potentially we could see a 4v5 coming out. If T Roland doesn't join, maybe this match just keep going ahead.
The surprise sub-in of me.
The surprise Sam. I'll play
And
for them.
I don't think that would be fair.
So Dan says that he was playing against them as a Nivea and he got a. They invade. I don't know who this is. One team invaded and got a triple kill level 1.
I got a triple kill level 1.
Oh, you got a triple
and
kill
there
level 1.
was 2 other kills for our team, and I think their team got 3 kills in total. We kind of just ran at each other at level 1, and there was lots of TPs back into the level 1 fight because people died and respawned. It was a mess. But then Daniel had to lane against me when I started with a serrated Dirk as Wukong.
Ah, so
I don't think he enjoyed that.
that's the kind of start we're hoping that Cambridge gets today with these serrated Dirk starts.
Yeah, perhaps.
That might be able to give. So, what do you know? Who plays in what lane on the team of ICL?
So Ricky P, I believe, is their support. T Roland is their mid laner. I think Azalion is their jungler, and Your Cookie Only is their top. Which would make Helvan their AD carry.
I bet you remember Avalon
We'll find out. We'll
being
find out.
vaguely good. So
Yeah, is this Mike? Or am I thinking of someone else? I can't remember. Too many players. Yeah. I don't know. I'm expecting 20-minute wins out of this, but we'll see. I mean, T Ronald's in the lobby. Holy crap!
Is he in the
Let's
lobby
go.
now? He
Let's
is in the
go.
lobby.
can I get an invite?
What? Are you even online? Oh, you are.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Oh, we've lost Azalion.
Oh wait, I'm on 61% of patching. So
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Very-
was there? Oh wait, was there a patch today?
Yeah,
Yes.
so what's the patch today?
Oh, we're playing on patch.
We're playing on a
Yeah.
new patch. Just as another heads up, Swain is currently banned. For some reason, Zoe isn't. So we're gonna see if either team pulls this out today. Did you guys see the nerf to Zoe?
I believe was it 0.25 seconds?
I think it's a
longer?
0.25 second cooldown. So yeah, we have the Fua Nico and Ricky P.
Okay.
So we're now all in the lobby.
Well, it starts with a 1 second cooldown at level 1, so
Starts with the 1 second cooldown level 1.
and then slowly goes down a bit.
Oh, is that their coach?
I'm not quite sure what's going on at the moment. We're just gonna have a look. We have
also got a
One of their
Trinity
players
as well.
can't play. We have
Oh.
Fuafu and Nika, who actually was who originally signed up to the storm. This is why I was slightly confused. So we have someone else playing. Or is it his
Okay.
other account? Something along those lines. So he just changed account. Alright, so...
That's
Point
fair
is, we're going to start the game very shortly.
enough. Ender, what's the status on your patching?
72%, but it's not moving. Feel free to leave me behind.
Yes, we're going to have to leave you behind for this first game. Because, as again, ICL Internet's not quite up to scratch here.
I'm at here. So,
Alright, I think we can start. I don't know who's the lobby leader. Oh, it's your cookie only. We just need to ask him to.
This is a rougher start. There we go. We're now in Champion Select. Right, we can see the first bans
alright,
coming out.
Yeah, so I expect ICawin to go with quite meta pick bans. I think they probably want to look to try to play their game, and probably won't respect too much of what the Cambridge team is pulling out. Gangplank ban comes out. It's quite a strong top laner, and I think, as we know, ICawin's top laner is one of their strongest players. So I think the bans directed at the top lane makes sense.
Yes, we're going to touch on the themes of yesterday. Are other teams going to pull out the target bans or just the general meta bans? We can see who's done their research. Do we know if they play Gangplank and
Ooh.
Fizz? So the Fizz ban coming out of ICawin right now.
Yeah, so that's obviously not a meta ban. So I have to expect it's a targeted ban at the optimal mid laner. Let's have a look. We can do some on the fly research. Lulu ban comes out. Another, I mean, this might be taking away the Cog Lulu bot lane, which has been like dumpstering solo queue, like pretty much everywhere. Makes sense. Vlad ban. This is another of the mid laner. So this guy plays both Vladimir and Fizz. Also Corki is what he plays. So maybe the third ban we'll see from ICawin will be Corki.
The Rengar taken out. I feel like these are target bans. Rengar is not necessarily a popular person in the current meta. Let's go on to their...
he is a very strong top laner at the moment. So
A strong top laner. Okay, well, if I look on the... let's see who's the jungle player out of ICawin.
I believe they're in LCS order. So
Yeah, what's that? Top laner is Gil
so yeah. So the Corki ban comes out. These are target bans at the Cambridge mid laner.
We've had word that Gangplank is definitely Yorki's only main champ, so these are definitely target bans coming out of the Cambridge side. However, I was speaking to some of the members of the Cambridge team the other day. They were saying they have definitely spoken to each other before. They've not played a game, so I feel like they have. While they haven't yet practiced a game together, they have prepared some strategies. So we're going to see what comes out. The Gnar from Robotic Reality here.
Gnar definitely makes sense. We saw a dominating performance from yesterday on the Gnar. Like, he's pretty much strong into lots of matchups right now.
very good blind pick.
Yeah, precisely.
Gnar's a good blind pick.
Coming out
I'm just thinking though with the Gnar, it's so difficult even at the best of times to get your team coordinated around the randomness of the Mega Gnar. How is it going to go with a team that's never played with each other?
Yeah, so I think if they're looking to use it as their primary engage, they're probably going to struggle. But if they have other engage, such as Jarvan, the Narvan combo works like pretty effectively, quite easy to pull off. So this actually makes sense. They're going for sort of like a wombo combo team fight comp, and I think that's a good idea. I think it's a lot easier to pull off than sort of split pushing or something like that.
Oh, I messaged you on the wrong team. There we go.
Blitzcrank coming out. Makes sense. Against the low mobility Varus and Heimerdinger, although he'll probably have a lot of trouble hooking.
Heimerdinger is Jarvan. Heimerdinger is a proper pick for Jarvan.
No,
Okay.
they've already picked Jarvan.
Okay. Daniel. What?
What?
There might have been some miscommunication.
We're having some issues in the champ select apparently. Heimer's a proxy pick for Jarvan.
Heimer is J4. So who's J4?
Can you? Who's in contact with the members from the ICawin team?
Oh,
Is it the?
Someone needs to
the
message me with
ICawin?
these. ICawin has picked Heimerdinger.
Oh, weird.
Did they just not see that Jarvan was taken and they thought they could proxy pick for Jarvan?
What, was Jarvan was already taken, right?
Yeah. We've seen Daily Lemon Water pick it up. Okay, potentially ICawin has gone blind, which actually
Okay.
might be one of the ways in which the Cambridge team can win
Ideally,
this.
Heim was J4, is what I got.
Wait,
Oh, Heim was first, but no one contacted me.
Oh, okay.
wait.
So they picked Heimerdinger, but the opposing team insta-picked J4 before they could contact
Yeah,
the
but you-
opposing team.
Okay, so you should probably, before you lock in your proxy pick, contact the enemy team first. So there's been a bit of mishap going on with the picks and bans. Not quite sure how it's going to play out. I'm imagining the ICawin team will be happy to pick another top laner since technically it was a mess on their side. Unless we have confirmation that the Cambridge team completely ignored the proxy pick from Imperial.
Yeah, so currently we're not actually sure what top laner ICL is playing or whether we're going to have a remake or whatever. We're going to wait and see what happens out, but we're going to continue with the champ select as if the rest is valid for now. I'm going to see what happens.
So Karma is obviously a valid pick. You know, Karma, Varus, very strong lane, and potentially they'll have the move speed to avoid the Blitzcrank, but they're both very squishy, so maybe if, you know, some lucky hooks come out, we could see this bot lane swing against Imperial side.
Probably tell them to remake.
Are we
Because if
gonna-
they don't choose what top laner their Heimerdinger will be instead of Jarvan, then the Cambridge team can't cater their team.
Okay. Well, who's Amumu? Amumu's obviously not a real pick, is it? Oh.
Okay, so
Jesus Christ.
slightly chaotic.
What is Amumu? Is Amumu a proxy
Amumu
pick
is
as well?
Jace.
Amumu is Jace. These are going way too fast.
Okay, I think it was gonna be. So what is? I wish I was in direct communication with these guys. Oh well.
Yeah, we need the team captains to add each other really before you lock in. We're gonna have to remake the game to deal with this Heimerdinger issue.
Garen, is that real? We don't know. be.
We're actually. I have no idea what's going on. They did add.
So apparently
The
they
messages
did
were
add each
ignored.
other, but they just can't communicate. Alright, I mean this is the problem really when you have a team which has never played together before. They
Yeah.
probably don't know how draft pick works. Tournament draft is pretty unique to, you know, actually playing in a tournament. So you're not going to see it in solo queue. So obviously these guys
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing.
We had an issue of the so basically the issue was here the captain of the Cambridge team has not actually played the Neo before, some of the other members of his team are, so we sort of assumed that they knew what proxy picks were, but the messages were actually ignored. So we're gonna have to remake this lobby and see what happens. We don't actually know what's going on. Who gets Jarvan? I think the only thing we can do is a remake of the whole champ select, guys. That was what do you think? You guys get Jarvan. Okay, so they're kindly donating Jarvan over to Cambridge's team. Good sportsmanship. +1 for sportsmanship there.
Yep. Very good stuff from the. I mean, hopefully maybe we'd have seen, you know, Imperial, you know, donating the stronger pick for a fairer match and a difference of elo.
I'm just going to explain the concept of proxy pick to these guys.
Yeah.
However, in the chaos, I did manage to sneak in, so...
Yeah, so we now have Ender joining us.
We now do
He's
have
not
Ender
being
joining.
picked out.
Now I do.
Oh, perfect. Everyone's just watching the lobby chat.
Indeed they are. Okay, we can transition to a more professional screen. There we go, back to the tournament bracket. So what's happening, who is who? Let me just clarify this. So we've got... we have... we're still waiting to see what's going on here. So, but I believe they were in communication. So, it seems like ICL are getting the Jarvan.
We had no idea Garen was
Garen's
Kale,
actually
apparently.
Garen is Kale. We have Amumu was Jace. Garen is Kale.
Yep. Just keep
Everything
track of
is
that.
Jarvan's Jarvan.
The Java's not Java now.
No.
So, I believe Cambridge is picking new jungler, and ICO keeps J4. Yes, we should definitely make sure in the future players. I believe all the other teams are actually New World teams, so it should be fine. We just need to make sure they tell us on the stream. I believe Cambridge are probably going to be picking the Elise in place. Yeah, which team messed up? It was Cambridge. We had the player that was being informed of the proxy picks of Cambridge did not know what a proxy pick was, as opposed to the rest of the team that did. Which is why I didn't bother briefing Cambridge team, because I thought they were all aware of the proxy pick. Okay. I think it was only 3 out of 5. So Cambridge's team is Nara, Elise, Kale, Ezreal, Blitzcrank. It's the Elise instead of the Jarvan. And on the side of Imperial, they're gonna keep the Jarvan, the same team comp from before.
Okay, so what do we think about these team comps? Well, I'm not sure if these are going to be real pick bans starting from where they left off, or if they've already decided on their picks.
They've already decided on their picks.
Okay.
They know what the team is. We got Nara, Elise, Kale, Varus.
Alright, I've seen someone in chat flame the production value. This isn't the production value.
Still better than ESL. Just gonna call that one.
At least it's not streamed on Facebook.
Not streamed on
We've
Facebook.
got that game.
And we have no ads, providing you have ad blocker. So
No ads apart from for MMOCircles for hosting this brilliant tournament.
MMOCircles is hosting tournament, providing the
Check
prize
them out.
money. So I think we're gonna have just. Oh, we're gonna apparently. Some people are keeping the same bands, some are random. These bands are slightly relevant because we know what the champions are gonna pick are. Not that I can remember them.
So we should get Nar from this man.
We're gonna have
If
Nar
I
from the
can
Cosmic
see,
Rarity. These picks are all now going to be in the correct
Jace
order.
Jarvan.
Jace Jarvan, the Daily Lemon Water is on the
Elise
Elise. I think didn't the Kale come later? I can't remember.
I think they're just picking their own champion.
Oh yes, Optimal playing the Kale, yep, because that is the mid laner. Interesting mid laner pick. Has anyone seen Kale in a while? I have not.
Not mid, and not even from this guy. He doesn't look like he's played Kale in Season 8.
Kale is one of those cheese
Season 7.
champions.
She's a good top laner, but she does get bullied out quite easily by ranged champions. So
Now,
I think she's going to really struggle against the Aria.
Yeah, and I appreciate what Cambridge were trying to do there with the Java jungle pick. That is one of those low mechanic, high reward champions we were talking that they need to pick when they're facing a higher mechanically skilled team. But unfortunately, they did not get that in time. They prioritised the Gnar. Next game, they will get the 2 first picks, so they might be able to improve on that if Elise isn't good enough. But I do know that Daily Lemon Water is an Elise main, so we shall see.
Yeah, so it's the classic trade-off, whether you want to go for simple stuff, or you want to go for meta, or you want to go for comfort. And I think comfort makes sense in a match like this for these guys. Yeah, so Ezreal Blitzcrank versus, I think, was it Varus Karma in the bot lane?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I think Ezreal Blitzcrank probably gets shoved in. Karma's quite the lane bully, as is Varus.
But they
So
do have a
maybe
lot of pick potential with
They do have a lot of pick potential and a lot of burst, so...
And we have the Ezreal, one of the champions that can get out the Java, not always a factor when you're picking an ADC.
Yeah, so in terms of ganks, Elise basically has mid lane and bot lane. Actually, in fact, even maybe all 3 lanes might be easy for her to gank. I imagine Jarvan might have a hard time ganking bot. It'll have a very easy time ganking the Kale, and maybe a harder time ganking the bot. So maybe we'll see a lot of mid pressure coming out from this game.
Yeah,
In
we
terms
should
of
see a lot
summoner
of mid
choice,
pressure. In terms of the mid lane matchup, Orianna versus Kayle, this is really one where Kayle can shine because not many people have played against Kayle. She does a lot of damage. She does have the heal to counter the Orianna's consistent poking. With the Q and the autos, you can instantly blitz. So you will Q if Orianna acts in time. She will shield the Q, but then you straight away go to these and you can do more damage. And it's
Yep.
very easy with the Kayle with the movement speed if she plays it correctly to walk around that ball. So with the ult to provide the burst, and the ult can also provide a burst onto the member of the team that gets the shockwave. It all relies down on how well Kale's mechanics can play.
Another thing is the summoner spell choice. Kayle has opted for the teleport versus Orianna's heal. So if she gets shoved out of lane, she's probably just going to teleport back and try and keep up and farm. I think that's
I've
probably what's
played
going to happen.
a decent amount of Kayle, and personally, I think that Orianna's going to have a very, very easy lane. Orianna's QW will deal the same amount of damage that Kayle can deal in 2 seconds in half a second, and the slow field from the W will prevent Kayle from returning damage. And her heal costs quite a lot of mana, whereas Orianna's poke does not. So I think Kale's probably going to be...
Okay, so Kale has
fully
a
down.
harder matchup in this one.
Yeah.
I've never
If,
played.
if the Kale's really good, then she can win. But the Orianna's definitely got the advantage.
Yeah, Orianna generally safe choice in lane. It's very rare for the two and Orianna getting completely destroyed in lane. With the Kayle, though, I have been told by Twitch chat that Optimal has actually been banned out. These mid lane bans coming out of ICL have been specifically targeted for Optimal. I guess maybe he's their best player, but he's certainly one that they've targeted. So Kayle maybe not his best champion. So overall, the Orianna may have a very easy lane. And in that instance, we should probably get the jungler focusing elsewhere. Ezreal Blitzcrank is a gankable lane. Ezreal's got a lot of burst. Blitzcrank also. Elise, not the easiest jungler to gank with. You have got to hit the cocoon.
Yeah, I'm a bit. I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical of this Kayle pick. Looking through this mid laner's champion pool, one of the things he could have gone to is the Kassadin. Is one of his. It's probably his fourth most played champion. So I think that could have gone well in this matchup. They've already got a lot of damage in their top jungle and AD carry. So Kassadin could easily sit back and do work, scale into the late game. Yep. In terms of wave clear, they're gonna might be a bit lacking. Kayle, has to get somewhat close to the wave clear, which risks her to dive.
If they do get into a siege position, then both teams kind of have quite a lot of poke. Nara and Ezreal can poke them far away, but obviously you've also got the Varus and Jace. But I think the Nara and Ezreal will probably beat out because Varus doesn't go the full AD.
Yeah, but they also have the Karma. It has a surprising amount of poke, at least in the early game. I don't know. Interesting choice is the Blitzcrank taking Exhaust. I think I would have expected him to take Ignite to get a bit more kill pressure. Other than that, the summoners seem quite standard.
Perhaps they're worried about all the defensive shields that could get thrown onto Varus, so he just stands there and hits people. They kind of want to negate some of that if Varus gets to the point where they can't kill him fast enough.
Yeah. I just feel like in a Blitzcrank lane, your Ignite adds a lot of kill pressure. And I mean that's one of the ways in which you can actually, clutch out a victory from something that might be a bit harder.
Yeah, I might have expected maybe a unsealed spellbook, so you could start with the Ignite for the early laning, and then.
Oh yeah, potentially we'll see that. We don't actually know what the Keystone runes are yet, so we'll find out shortly. Oh. So we are actually getting into game right now. In terms of summoner spell choices, seems quite standard across the board. We don't see the unsealed spellbook from Blitzcrank. He opts for the Aftershock instead.
We've got a Fleet of Foot on the Gnar, which is slightly unorthodox.
Oh yeah, that's somewhat unconventional. I believe Airy Jace is pretty common, and obviously on the Orianna and Karma as well. Fleet Footwork on Varus is completely standard.
The
Aftershock.
Kayle press the attack is also a bit strange. You usually get.
What would you normally take on Kayle?
What's the other one called? The attack speed one.
Ah, okay, that one. I can't remember.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, no, that is quite handy actually.
Right, that is it. We should be getting a game. shortly,
Unless
waiting for
we
the
see
players to
some
spawn.
early game pauses. I mean, those happened in the last two games.
These are fairly frequent, yeah.
There
Well,
have
just-
also been pretty big nerfs to ranged Kleptomania users, so Ezreal is not going to be optimal on that Kleptomania anymore.
Oh, that's loud.
Now, I'm
Alright,
just
so-
wondering what we're going to have to see out of... I mean, the Kale with a TP, clearly expecting difficult lane. But more importantly, we've got double TP versus one TP. Now, this is a team which is going to rely strongly around T play rather than individual play, so I think this is a good idea out of Cambridge.
Yep, I think so. I think the TP completely makes sense here. Just because, well, for laning phase, it allows us to keep up and farm, and being able to sort of split push with the Kale, you know, having the TP allows you to do that.
We've got
Both
two
teams grouping up.
Both teams
Yeah.
grouping up, one team with the Blitzcrank with Invade, and one team clearly anticipating the Blitzcrank Invade. Now, this is looking... They're getting dangerously close to each
some
other here. They've
opportunity-
just missed each other, the ward at the red buff. They're going to come in. Are they going to see? Go on.
Oh.
Oh, they've noticed each other. And the hook comes in on the Jace. They're going to come down, and Daylin and
Gets hit
Water's
by
getting
the
really
cocoon
low.
with the-
Elise manages to repel away, but is that going to be enough? Elise is going to be killed at the last second. Jace jumps back in with the heal's going to be enough. The Blitzcrank Invade normally goes well, but not quite at the moment. The Jace Q comes out, not quite enough. Gnar flashes back in, robotic ground, getting the last kill. The Ezreal and Gnar still on the back side, coming to kill the Orianna. One hit, two hit, not enough for the Orianna. Ezreal's getting pretty low, has to flash away. Gnar and the Ezreal are still fighting the 2v2, but they're losing this one, they're backing away strongly. And that is a 1-for-1, but with ICL getting the first blood, let's have a look at the summoners. We have flash down for Gnar, flash down for Kale, and Ezreal and Blitzcrank on the side of Cambridge, where there's only 2 flashes down and 1 heal on ICL.
Yep, also 2 teleports used from the Kale and the Jace. So, but they're not actually in the same lane, so maybe we'll see some TP disparity coming out from these 2 lanes. Gnar is incredibly low health, so he probably should have opted to back and teleport back in beforehand, and he's going to go ahead and do that now.
I think that was quite well played from the Ezreal. He was standing behind the Imperial
Yeah.
team the entire time.
Equinox
Managed
are on
to,
the Ezreal, definitely proving his thing
poke
there.
down.
And as you can see with his first blood, he's actually bought an Elixir of Fortitude.
I think that's probably the Kleptomania, because you can't buy them for 6.
Ah, yeah, shows what I know about this game. Pilfer Potion of Range, actually, not at all, I thought. Ignore me, I'm still playing 3 patches ago. Or rather 3 years ago, more accurately.
That's
He actually
unfortunate.
bought some boots.
He actually bought
Yeah.
some boots. Oh, it's the Marshal gives free boots as well. I got the wrong way around there.
Yeah. I think boots sort of makes sense. He could have went for a mana crystal.
Yeah, Mana Crystal get the tier earlier.
Mana Crystal tier. Boots also make sense, especially against the Varus and Karma.
Yes.
Very
definitely.
useful in that lane. Looking fairly
Surprisingly, in the
standard.
mid lane, we've got a Kale with a minus CS lead. Seems to be having a fine time in this lane against the Orianna. There's obviously no
problem just yet, but Orianna is actually quite low on mana, so wondering how this lane's going. Kale is allowed. If we watch that mid lane, Kale is actually being allowed to right up and melee these crits without having to use a at all. Orianna really needs to be punishing that. There's no reason for that to be allowed on the mid lane. Orianna can, with the passive, can just auto and shield when the minions start anchoring her back, and then QW and Kale starts aggressing. Unless she's intentionally letting the wave be pushed to help to have the Jarvan.
There's been some pings for Elise heading mid as Jarvan heads towards.
Oh, we've
Elise
got that
heading
attempted
bot,
hook
Jarvan
on
heads
bot.
mid.
Elise is heading on bot. Blitzcrank's getting reload. The Cocoon comes in, does land on the Karma. Knock up on the Varus. Mixed focus here. Varus and Karma both flash away, so that's some summoners burn, but no kill. I feel like they could have got the kill if they focused the same champion.
Jarvan looked mid, but he got caught out by the ward on the top half of the river there.
So again, already better game sense.
Down
Yeah,
from,
better-
bot lane. But
Better game sense coming out of Optimal than we saw from ICL's mid laner. I mean, Cambridge's mid laner yesterday. When we dive, we see the deaths of the level 2 ganks. Looking like it's going to be a closer matchup anyway, despite the 500 gold lead. But that's mostly coming out in the first blood and the minus CS difference in the bot lane.
yeah. So I wonder if we'll see Elise come back to this bot lane shortly. They've got a ward that's about to expire in the tri-bush, and maybe she'll try to pass through that way if they know it's expiring soon. She's gonna back now. I guess we'll see where she's gonna go after that. Jarvan's sort of
Comes
passing top
out.
side.
Not quite enough to get anything. It seems like the bot lane for Cambridge is actually playing attempting to make the plays of the blitz hooks, but they are 1 level down, and they are 10 CS down, even though they got that first blood.
They do have a few CS lined up, but it'll probably end up evening out as a 5 CS.
And we're going to look into top lane as Jarvan approaches on the top. Cannon does robotic reality, he got no ward. Jarvan's Cannon came in, but the dash away, not enough. Jarvan maybe a bit preemptive on that one. The robotic reality definitely realising there's lack of vision and playing quite safe there.
Yep, very smart play out of the Gnar. Doesn't overextend.
Yeah, another hook out of Blitzcrank, down to under 50% mana just from using these hooks. Not quite managing to avoid the Varaskis either. We're seeing some trades in the mid lane. Now mid lane is starting to become less in Optimal's favour as the mid lane goes on. Still kicking that CS lead, and actually Optimal has not backed. I think he's just trying to wait till a TP comes back up, but he is getting taken quite low. If Jarvan comes mid, he may suffer from his lack of wanting to back here.
Yeah, so I think maybe some of this Kael's early game lead was because of the TP used quite early.
Oh, a really good trade on top lane coming out of Robotic Reality. He does take the counter cube by the Jace as Elise walks in. Jason saw... Actually, no, Jason did not see Elise coming. Another hook.
That was nowhere near.
It was very optimistic.
It's an optimistic hook indeed. But the trades are coming in quite well for Cambridge's side. Not at all what I expect from the laning phase. I expect it to go more heavily in ICL's favour.
Yeah, what I want to see out of this Blitz is a flash onto the Varus. He's got no flash, you've got flash as Blitz. You can just flash onto him, knock him up, it's an easy kill.
And we're looking at the counter jungle start something. Oriana's starting to
gets
get
one. Gets a tower shot onto the Karma.
Hits a hook, which I missed on the spectator camera, but they are getting quite low. We can see the Oriana and Jarvan heading down here. This could be a problem. Oriana flash, the heal's in time, but it's not quite enough. The shockwave does take him out. Blitzcrank's going to get tower dive. This should be an easy kill. With the stopwatch coming out, that is a tower dive. I feel like Cambridge should have anticipated this coming. Meanwhile, Jarvan catches Elise in the jungle, but it's not quite enough.
So Ezreal sadly had both of them had a stopwatch up as that dive happened. So you know, there's really no excuse for dying there. They both have flash as well.
The flash maybe not see but the stopwatch definitely. maybe they just considered they wouldn't have worked. You know, the Oriana flash shockwave, they probably would have died regardless, or even if avoid the initial damage. But certainly,
I mean, I think dodging the shockwave would have definitely. You know,
I would have stopwatched there. Yeah, I would definitely have advised using that. But you know, it might not be a bad thing. They might remember to, and assuming they've actually taken the damn mastery, they might be able to use it.
So the mastery only just came up about 10 seconds prior, so they might not even realise it came up.
More exchanges coming in top wave, and the Gnar and the Jace are getting in quite good trades, but Robotic Reality is not quite managing to dodge the Curios on the way out. If he exits those trades in a more of a zigzagging pattern, then we may be able to see some better trades coming in the Gnar. He's taken very low by just walking in a straight line away from Gnar, away from the Jace even.
Credit to this Kael, keeping the CS even, if not a slight lead.
Yes, I think this is really good out of the Kael. This is basically the...
Now we see Elise is seen in the ward on the top lane. Kael is trying to keep Oriana off. Elise is trying for the gank, but this is actually a really bad gank to go for. There's no way this gank's going to work. At the same time, Kael has been caught by the Jarvan. Jarvan ults, flashes away. Elise is repelled his way, looks at Jace, but the ult's going to be enough. She dodges the final Q. The Q is not quite enough. Nar's going to ult, doesn't land in the tower range. Going to get another Q. Is it going to be able to kill him, or is Jace going to be able to pull this back? Oh, it's going to be so close. One more hit will do it on either side. Flashes away. The Mastery gives the kill. Is that still called Dangerous Game or something else? A Mastery gets the heal at the end. Meanwhile, bot lane hook coming in. Blitzcrank does hit. They get the knock up, but Ezreal staying quite far back. I think he realizes they're actually 1 level down. It's 2 level 6 versus 2 level 5. Not the ideal fight. Ezreal's abandoning Blitzcrank to his death, which is the right thing to do. Blitz flashes away, knocks up and exhaust. I wouldn't have used that exhaust. That was a bit of a useless one. Ezreal's trying to turn around, but it's not enough. And yeah, too aggressive with the hook. The 2 ults out of Imperial's bot lane was just too much to handle for the level 5 of Cambridge.
Yeah, so just completely wasting the some of the spells. Both in top lane with the flash from Gnar, and the exhaust out of Blitzcrank, and yeah, it's just a little bit unfortunate. They've both still got their stopwatch up, so...
They have still got their stopwatch.
I'm not even sure they know they have it.
Yeah, someone will tell these guys they've got stopwatches.
Yeah. Teleport to top.
Teleport coming into top lane from the Gnar, to be expected at this point. Day Lemon Water attempting to clear the pink ward, but they're scared off, and now we see this dragon being started by Imperial College. Oriana pushing him out a bit, the hook comes out, but again misses. Blitz is still level 5, he really needs that silence to be effective at the moment. Oriana level 6 chasing them off. Day Lemon Water, is he going to try for the steal? The cocoon lands, but the hook is not up at the moment. Knockup's going to come out. I feel like they may be getting the Oriana, so the stopwatch does come out at this stage. Propel comes out. Ezreal ult comes out. Doesn't finish off the
Ooh.
Orianna. Not quite enough there. But we do see an attempt at least. But yeah, the dragon comes out. That was not ideal for Cambridge.
Yeah, so I think, ICawin are playing this very, they've been slipping up at times mechanically, but overall, this is pretty solid performance from them. They're getting the objectives. They got bot turret, they got dragon. They're winning in CS across all lanes apart from mid.
Yeah, we've got a 3 kill and a 3k gold lead. Now we see another fight going on. We see both members of bot lane coming up to help the fight between Jace and Gnar here. I think Gnar realizes they're coming, or does he? He's going to go out a bit further. Oh, Gnar doesn't know. They've got no vision. Varus misses the ult. Jumps away afterwards, just in time. Llama gets the poke at the end, though. Gnar is probably going to have the back, unless he wants to suffer a tower dive, since Jarvan's there as well. But again, okay, Gnar is recalling. That was good. Good job, Robotic Reality. Playing safer than the bot lane here. But the top lane tower's going to die. Meanwhile, bot lane is recalled. He can't be really good at a time like this. We have Varus, Karma, Jarvan, and what is Jace still top? Jace just back. Jace is going bot again. This was a perfect time. You had to push the bot wave now. That was a massive amount of not only objective but gold was just lost by bot lane's poor decision making there.
Yeah, they could have just pushed that in. They would have got maybe 10 CS extra from that.
You would have denied JCS as well, and the tower would have got some damage. This was just unnecessary from the bot lane.
Yeah.
The Rift Hell coming out. Are we going to see a fight coming ahead? Nar's nowhere near to Mega, but the Rift Hell's being pulled miles out of the pit.
Yeah, Jace has no teleport though, so it will be a 4v5 if this does break out.
Yeah, I don't trust Cambridge to be able to realise this. Is this a pause? Yeah, I think there's a pause coming out here. Wait, or has my stream just lagged? My stream. Okay,
I don't see any pause yet.
Okay, my spectator has just froze for a few seconds there.
That's fine. Nothing's happening.
Nothing's
so
happened. No, it's back now. Nothing seemed to have happened. They just danced around the Rift Herald, which is unusual.
Yeah, a bit of a reset. Some wards traded, but not much else happened.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the only really way that the Cambridge team wins this is on the back of this Kale, who's pulling out a good performance up in CS against the Imperial mid laner in an unfavorable matchup, as Xander called it. So, I mean, potentially this goes late game. Kale starts to do a lot of damage, and that's the only way I see this winning it.
Ezreal has also got to the point where he starts building his damage items, so he's got the CDR boots and Tia out the way, and now he's just going to start ramping up towards that 2-3 item power spike, which might hit slightly sooner than the Varus.
Now we see Cambridge verging on grouping up mid. Jace is still bot and Nar's going top, but the bot lane for ICL are top and the bot lane for Cambridge heading mid, although I think they might be just taking Wraiths here. Again, playing quite safe. Now, if we take a look at the vision, Cambridge has no vision on the bot side of the map, so Ezreal's going to play really, really safe down the bottom. They have some vision around mid. Compare that to ICL. They've also not got too much vision. Jace is actually playing extremely aggressively there. He does not know. Oh, he'd actually the wards at the blue buff around the blue buff area for ICL do spot, so Jace is actually fairly safe.
Yeah, so now we've got Ezreal versus Jace in the bot lane matchup. Ez is actually being able to, farm somewhat alright. I mean, he's also got the Kleptomancy, so maybe have a better chance of keeping up in gold than other AD carries. They might actually go for this Rift Herald because Jace's teleport is about to come up. So, it's a smart player of ICawin.
Yeah, Ezreal has no TP still on the top spot side and no CC to interrupt the thing either, so are Cambridge going to go for this? I feel like it would be a bad idea.
Oh, the
looks like they're going for it. That comes in the flash ult. The flash ult completely misses as ICL flash away in time. They do prevent the Rift Herald for now. They might start it again, but that was a really optimistic flash ult. And then another flash this time from, I don't even know who flashed there. Was it Orianna?
I think you might be a few seconds behind.
Yeah, there was that pause. Yeah, I think there was a flash out of Jarvan and Orianna, and in the end, neither of them got caught in it. So, Rift Herald gets secured by the Imperial squad.
It's being secured. Attempted hook by Blitzcrank again. Varus
I don't know if
just
he wanted that. I think if he hooks them,
yeah, I think if he hooks them, he dies to the ult there. Let's see if I can catch up to live. Yep, I'm just going to fast forward a bit.
Orianna ultimate onto the.
Ah, there we go.
Blitzcrank,
Force on the bit, and the
Ooh.
Orianna and the shockwave and the Karma comes up to clean the Blitzcrank up. I feel like, hate to say it, but the bot lane of Cambridge is the weakest link at the moment. They've shown some poor decision making and some misplays here.
At the same time, though, I think it's mostly on the Blitzcrank. This Ezreal's been keeping up on farm like very
That's
well.
true. Has been keeping up on farm.
He's even picked himself a kill at level 1. So, you know, I mean, we can't put it all on the bot lane. It's mostly this Blitzcrank that's been slipping up.
Maybe next time we might see Janna or some more passive support from the Pink Floyd Cool.
From the Pink Floyd Cool. I mean, the hooks aren't. He's getting the aims of the hooks off, and in all seriousness, we might see the game decided by that chance hook at the end there, if he continues to go.
Yeah.
That's the thing about these hooks, really. Like, you know, even if you miss 100 of them, if you hit one, you know, that if it's onto a carry, you can win a game.
Okay, we'll see what happens around this dragon now. Kayle aggressing on the RN slightly in the mid lane, but ICawin looking to get this dragon uncontested. It seems like Cambridge wants to stop them, but they're just not in position. They just see them doing dragon, they go and head off. The Jace poke does a chunk of damage out of the Lee, so I'm not sure we're going to see them contesting it. The Smite's attempt's going to go in, but Daily Morton doesn't quite manage to get it. The repel comes away. Blitzcrank again with the random hook. Jarvanot comes in, dunking down 2 of them. Kale's going to attempt to run away. That was not a fight that Cambridge wanted to take. They were not in any way prepared. Gnar has TP up, didn't even come down. Kayle up comes down with the Bar Assault. Is he going to make it out? Nope. That was all the summoners burn out of, well, the flash burn out of the Kayle, the flash burn out of the Blitzcrank. Gnar still in the top lane just farming. That was really not a fight they should have taken.
The Kayle had 2,000 gold going into that fight, and she hadn't finished her Nashes yet, so she had a big power spike that was waiting to happen. She probably should not have gone for that fight without that.
Yeah, the power.
Even with that, it was a bad fight. But
Yeah.
They're going to lose 2 turrets of this, and they might get one at the top. Looks like they will get the top turret because there is no Jace to teleport there. But 2 turrets lost in the mid lane and an Infernal Drake basically means that this is a big win.
Yeah,
for
this is a sign of Cambridge not quite having the experience as a team. You don't want to go for the dragon fights that you can't take. You need to either set it up and prepare for it, or just ignore it completely. Don't just reactively attempt to half-heartedly stop a dragon losing.
I think
4 members
perhaps
in the process.
the Elise was going just for the suicide steal, but
And the rest of the team
not enough
followed. Yeah.
communication there on the.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, this Blitzcrank probably needs to be a slightly less aggressive in terms of his hooks. It's alright to just sit back and wait until the opportunity arises rather than trying to keep forcing stuff. Yeah. Ezreal's actually been, you know, just sort of sitting in bot lane for a while, although he's not quite keeping up in farm as he used to be. Kale's actually farming really well. I mean, 150 CS at 17.5 minutes is
Kale's capable of
very
farm.
respectable.
It's going to be down to Kayle. If Cambridge do manage to hold on they are suffering currently a 7k gold lead. They do manage to hold on for a while. Who's going to win in the late game between these two comps?
Well, it really comes down to, I mean, how effective this Kayle can be in team fights.
Yeah.
So in the last team fight, it was like she wasn't able to get up any damage at all.
The mistook again from the Blitzcrank. Again, it's just looking at every possible opportunity.
We shouldn't be mean.
I'd give 9 out of 10 fights to the Cambridge team in the late game, but there is always the chance of a perfect Gnar ult or an amazing hook from the Blitzcrank that could end up giving this Kayle the time she needs to beat away and get those stacks on the Rage Blade that she'll probably be building next.
CS slightly building up in favour of ICawin with the exception of the mid lane. Top lane, Gnar's struggling to hold on against the Jace right now. It's looking like they do need a great TP play from the Gnar. We need to see more of the double TP usage. They've had a TP advantage the whole time, but I haven't really seen it be effective except to TP back into lane.
Jace has gone for the split push build, so you can see that there.
Yeah, Jace got for the build, and they're not going to win the 4v4 with Cambridge. They need to focus on the 5v4. If you can get the Jace to bait out his TP somehow, might have a chance.
Yeah, I think at the same time though, I mean, the Cambridge squad is managing to wave clear against this Imperial lineup.
They are. They have the Ezreal.
Maybe they shouldn't be
Kayle.
able to do that, really. I mean, Imperial's got a lot of engage with the Varus and the Jarvan. They could dive this very, very effectively.
Oh, a lot of damage coming out onto the Ezreal there. We really need. I would have liked. Oh, the Blitzcrank is going to go for the hook. Oh, it looked promising there. Oh, he goes for the hook, hooks the Orianna, knocks
Oh,
on
he
the
gets
Orianna.
the Orianna.
The Kayle,
Kayle.
interestingly, going onto the Blitzcrank, not who I would have chosen. So many heals coming out. Are there going to be a kill onto Java? Another heal coming out, not quite enough. This was a really poor Kayle, I feel. They should have ulted one of the members of the team that wasn't Blitzcrank. And that looked promising for Cambridge at the start, but ends up in a 4-0.
Yeah, you can't be using the KL on a Blitzcrank. That was 0-4, now 0-5. Another thing was they lost. They're going to lose their top tier turret. So
Cambridge are not winning the 5v4 because of them in all the 1v1. They need to have an RTP, but more importantly, the Blitzcrank may not have been a bad idea. They got the Orianna. You should have immediately collapsed against the Orianna, but more importantly, do not ult the Blitzcrank. That was not the target you need to save. If you had ulted herself or any one of the 3 people who got hit in the shockwave, that might have been a changed fight.
yeah, the thing about Blitzcrank is he's got his combo in a team fight. He'll hook, knock up, and then ult, and then that's basically it.
And he's
So
gotta
after
walk
that,
around.
he does nothing.
Yeah, you do not want to be Kayle ulting that. And again, both bot lanes out the side of Cambridge still have stopwatch. Apparently forgetting they have this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, to be
dear.
honest, they are playing for the late game. No,
They're playing for the late game.
they need to save this important item. It does make sense.
Now we're going to have a look. We have the on the gold. But Ezreal is actually 3k down compared to the Varus, as opposed to the mid laners who are about even, a 500 gold difference. And the top lane and jungle are about 2k, so we are seeing a massive difference in the bot lane as expected. And the hook comes out to Kayle, the cocoon lands. I mean,
Oh,
that wasn't Kayle, 3-man shockwave, getting cleaned up. The Varus ult hits 2 of them, doesn't ult the Blitzcrank in time. He finally remembers the shockwave. Kayle's still trying to do as much damage as he can. The Gnaw, the really late TP, he's TP'd into 1v3 without Mega Gnaw. What's he doing? Ezreal's going to try and 1v1 thing. Gnaw jumps on him over the wall, escaping the Juggernaut extremely well, but he's still going to, I feel, go down to the Orianna. One last thing, Varus is still picking them up. Ezreal does escape at the back there, but again, looking so good. The shockwave is really screwing them.
Yeah, it's doing so much damage. I mean, even though Orianna's been out-farmed, she's still farming alright. And she's picked up a lot of assists, so she's got a lot of gold, and these shockwaves are hurting.
It's slightly unfortunate that the Kayle's range means she has to stand within a prime shockwave length of the Orianna. So she's going to really need to bait that out before she tries to go in for any damage, otherwise she's just going to get demolished by that.
Yeah. I mean, I think in an ideal world, maybe they could have the Kayle split against the Jarvan. I think they'd maybe have a favourable 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, Kayle against Jarvan, I think it sounds like it could go better than the
Sorry, Kayle against the Jace. Sorry,
That's Jace, yeah. I'm in this too. But yeah, the Gnar needs to be in the team fight match earlier. We didn't get to see a Mega Gnar in that fight. And we've seen some attempted plays out of robotic reality on the Gnar. We've attempted the flash ults, and he could go well in team fights, but he really needs to actually be there. The Kayle, if anything, can join the fight later and then ult whoever needs saving, assuming that Cambridge can avoid the initial burst. The thing is, they might be thinking they want the Kayle to ult for the initial burst right at the start because of the Ori, but that hasn't been effective so far. She's keeping herself alive for 1 or 2 seconds, but really at this stage, if you get caught in a Jarvan and Orianna combo, no ult's going to save you. You just need to get out. You need to flash that.
Ezreal has a stopwatch, so if a shockwave comes out, he should be able.
He should be able to stopwatch that, yeah.
He should be able to stopwatch, or alternatively use his E. He also has an E to get out.
He does have an E and a stopwatch. Ezreal is a good pick against this diving comp that ICawin put together here. We do see a 13k goal lead in 23 minutes, so there's very little that Cambridge could do at this point.
Kayle is about 200 gold away from Razorblade, so
if they can hold on today, they might have a bit of chance of some more damage, but at the moment, Blitzcrank hook comes out, Varus ult comes out, getting the Blitzcrank only. 1 death is fine. The Varus ult's going to spread. Oh, it spreads to the Kayle. They get the Kayle. She did not run away in time. Flash and ult burnt. Jarvan ult also burnt, interestingly. Flash comes in from the Orianna. Lots of aggressive plays coming in. Shockwave actually manages to land the robotic reality there, and no damage being returned. Ezreal trying to 1v1 the Jace at the top of it, but Jace has just killed the tower and is now onto Ezreal, and has managed to 2v1 the tower and Ezreal there. Ezreal really needs to be in that fight. Can't be 1v1ing, but again at this stage, too much of a gold differential.
So some good stuff coming out of that fight from Cambridge. We had the Kayle not ulting the Blitzcrank.
The hook comes in at the Karma.
Blitzcrank
We see the
hook
Karma
that
again.
hits.
Again, the damage out of ICawin is just too high. They get absolutely devastated. Gnar bouncing away, at least devastated. Gnar with the maximum rage, now he's on base.
And this is unprecedented. We're going to see Ezreal ending the game with stopwatch still up.
We do see the Gnar going down there. Ezra entering the game with stopwatch still up.
I hope they don't
12,
watch this
0,
pod.
and 7 out of the Varus. Ezra respawning. Oh, the Varus has stopwatch. Maybe.
Oh.
Oh, the Karma shield comes out exactly right
oh,
time. Nearly
oh,
kills
the
the Karma as
Karma.
well. Come on, Ezra, you can use stopwatch. Maybe the Varus stopwatch reminded him, but it's too late. Game 1 to Imperial College London, and this summed up what we expected in the pre-game. We did see that out the side of Cambridge that they wouldn't have the team play necessary, and we mentioned the Gnar before. The Gnar rage is so hard to play around, even as a coordinated team. And then we playing against this essentially random build-up on a team that has never played together before. But Gnar, when he had the Mega Gnar, attempted some plays, but in most of the crucial situations, he was firing his boomerang or in top lane.
Yeah. They just weren't really able to pull off what they needed to, really. I mean, I think this, these comps, potentially in a more even matchup, might have been, a good fight against each other. But some crucial things were missing, such as Ezreal, he wasn't able to escape any of the bursts, even with his tools to do so. We had Kale, well, she was able to wave clear quite effectively. She wasn't really able to do the damage because she had to use her ult on either other people or herself at suboptimal times.
Now, if you look at these damage graphs at the end here, we're just seeing the massive difference that we have. The maximum damage was 7k on the Ezreal versus a massive 20k on the Varus. This is just once the mid lane mistake after the dragon fight and the 2 mid towers, Cambridge didn't really have any chance.
Yeah, I think the saving grace for Cambridge might be this mid lane matchup. So T Roland didn't really put on the strongest performance the last game. He was getting out CS by I'm not sure what rank this Cambridge. Oh, actually, the Cambridge mid laner is actually Diamond 5. Or is that just the lobby being bugged? I'm not sure.
It says it's gold 2 for me.
Gold 2. Okay, so the lobby's bugged. That's fine. So yeah, getting out CS by a gold 2 player, which is not something that should be happening. I think T Roland is platinum. Oh no, he's actually gold 5 as well. So actually, sorry, all things aside, it's probably quite an even matchup in the mid lane. So maybe that's the chance. Maybe that's the chance.
Maybe that's the chance. Okay, guys, we're going to be taking a quick break. Stay right with us. We'll be back in a few minutes for the game 2. Hopefully Cambridge can pull out something special for this one. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to Game 2. Currently, this is 1-0 to Imperial College London in one of the round 2 matches between, what are the team names again? Bunch of randoms and ICawin. ICawin being 1-0 up in this tournament, sponsored by MMOCircles. Game should be kicking off quite shortly.
Yep, so everyone's in the lobby. I'm not sure what we're waiting for.
We should be going off quickly. And what do you think was going to happen in Game 2? Arcade was going to try something different? Or was that strategy fine and they just executed it badly?
I think they really have to try something different. I mean, that game really didn't have too many redeeming factors for them apart from the mid lane. One thing to talk about is that the mid lane was banned out heavily. So that performance on the Kale pick was this was a guy who was really pressured out to the ends of his champion pool. So maybe you can pull out something else. But I mean, you know, what can you do really if you're getting banned out?
Yeah, exactly, and champ pools for teams are an issue at this stage, but it's possible, this sometimes happens in I found newer games or in tournament games of best of threes, where you ban out a guy's champions in the first game, then you go, oh, he wasn't a threat, let's not bother banning him second game. Forgetting, of course, that the only reason he wasn't a threat was because you banned his comfort picks, so we'll see how that plays in the second game.
Yep. So interesting to see what the first ban that comes out of Imperial will be. If we see a Vlad or Fizz, then Corky. Okay, so I think they're going for the same strategy, really. Ban out the mid laner. One thing to consider was, even though they banned out the champions, he was still the only real threat on the team. So it's not really worth banning anyone else out.
That's true. That's true. I'm hoping we do not see the Nart. I would definitely want to see a Jarvan as opposed to a Nart as a prioritised pick for Cambridge. I mean, they do have the 2 picks, so they're going to lose the one. Maybe ICO will realise that as well and take the Jarvan.
Yep. Or maybe they'll secure one of the top 10 mid laners. I don't know if this guy plays any of Malzahar, Zoe, Ryze, Azir.
Any mid laner, that's good. Yeah.
Any
I quite like to see
I'm really hoping for the Heimerdinger mid.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think Malzahar will be really good here.
What I would really like is actually the Heimerdinger and the Katarina, just improving on the Syndra Katarina duo we had yesterday.
Yeah, so the thing about the Malzahar bit, which would be really good, is that he would maintain the wave clear pressure that he had last game, but also he'd have a bit longer range in his damage and a bit more kill potential that the Kale doesn't have. So yeah, I think that returning to the Kale would be a mistake. Varus picked, makes sense. They were very strong on it last game, and I think they'll just win bot lane again with it.
Yeah.
They could go back to the Kale if they then built the rest of their team around getting that Kale going. Maybe a Nunu. Nunu and Kale is a good combo.
Nunu and Kale is good.
Have
And
a more supportive.
Kassadin comes out. This is the guy's 4th champion. They opted to not pick it in the first rotation last time, and they ended up losing it in the second rotation ban. So taking it this time sort of makes sense.
Again, though, Kassadin is a very interesting pick. I'm not sure how meta he is, but that is a difficult champion to pull off, especially when you already get behind early game.
Yeah, and one of the things about picking it early is that ICawin has like free reign to counter pick it. So I mean, Ender, you play a lot of solo lanes. What would you see? What would you expect to see against this Kassadin pick?
Well, the Orianna is, if T-Laron's comfortable on it, is a good pick. Basically, any of the any of the kind of utility mages do quite well against Kassadin because they can shield themselves and avoid dying to him.
Yeah, and I actually would have advocated for an Orianna ban just because the shockwave was so effective. They were not great in dealing with that. They were constantly 3-4 wave shockwaves.
Is the Aatrox an Aatrox? Aatrox.
No, I've been messaged. Aatrox is Gnar. So they are
Gnar
going
makes
with a
sense.
Gnar again. I mean, it makes sense, but they didn't execute it well before. It's a difficult pick. They do have the Jarvan. I guess the Jarvan and the Gnar.
Yeah, so Java makes the Gnar pick a lot easier to execute because, well, the ultimates synergize so well.
Never look back.
Jace ban makes sense. It was, their top laner seemed pretty comfortable on it, and it was did a lot of damage.
Blitzcrank.
The Blitzburn. Oh, apparently these hooks weren't scary
Maybe.
enough. So we did see Hook after every time that ability came off cooldown, he was firing the hook, but he did hit a few, and some of them were even useful. If
Yeah,
it
so I
wasn't,
think if I was ICON right now, I would leave the Blitzcrank open and I would bait them into picking it.
I'll pay the bit of it. Well, you say that, but last game he did get quite a lot of good hooks. I mean, they generally got the kill on the person they hooked, and then all died afterwards. But that was just because of like the 15k gold difference. So if they managed to, maybe keep it at maybe under 10k, it might have worked. The Thresh are also coming out. They're very scared of these hooks. I mean,
Yeah.
unless they've target banned and know that this is a guy who only plays the playmaking supports.
Yeah, so even though Blitzcrank and Thresh are down, there are still playmaking supports available.
Is this a Zillion or is this a proxy pick? Because they have not told me of any.
Zillion sort of makes sense. Oh no, it's Caster's already a pick. It could be a support, but
Yeah, it's gonna be a support. I mean, it's fairly simple.
it
I'm
does
just gonna-
make sense against the high engage from the.
I'm just gonna
Safeguard
ask whether
virus.
it's a genuine Zillion pick. The reply was a yeah. ... So
We do see a
we
Garen.
have got a Zillion and a Garen, unless the Garen is a
Garen's
probably
proxy
proxy
pick.
Well, who for?
Well, I haven't heard of any proxy coming.
I mean, Garen versus Gnar, alright for the Garen. You can cancel the slow from the boomerang with your Q.
You know all about the Garen matchups, don't you? And being a
Yeah.
Garen main. Yep. So surprisingly, the Karma comes out. I was expecting a Bard. Maybe this guy's like a Bard main. But the Karma makes sense. Also explains why they're banning the Thresh and Blitzcrank, because they want a lane with no kill pressure, so Karma can just bully away.
I'm
with,
expecting the lobby to
Graves.
be remade because Aatrox is Gnar, but they went away with the swap and there we go. Okay,
There
I
we
thought
go.
I might have forgotten about it for a second there. There we go. I think Garen is Garen.
Fair enough. I'm not too happy about the Cogmore pick. He is very strong, but it kind of negates your engage mid-game team fight comp with the Gnar and Jarvan. If you then need to kind of stop your engage and go back and protect your
So I think
Cogmore.
Cogmore sort of changed in identity from. Yeah, he used to be this late game carry where you just have to pour your resources into protecting him. Nowadays he's sort of been somewhat of a lane bully and just a mid game damage monster. I mean, if you're engaging, you're distracting the enemy from attacking the Cogmore. So
Yeah, perhaps the Jarvan Drain and the Gnar ultimate could stop anyone getting on top of you.
yeah, I mean they're pairing it with a Zillion. This was I think CLG played this last week in the ALCS.
Was that a support?
The bonus move speed, I guess, very helpful.
Yeah, exactly. The bonus
mean,
move speed, and
I'm
more
think-
importantly, the revive.
I'm thinking of the revive. Yeah, the revive on the Cogmore. Again, though, last game they had the stopwatches, they had the care ult. You got to use the abilities, man. I'm not
Yeah.
confident in Pink Floyd's ability to actually pull out those. He's probably going to out himself or something. Who knows?
These guys have families, you can't. Oh well.
The Alawi. I guess the Garen was proxy for Alawi. They just didn't tell us.
That's fine.
They must-
I don't think it changes too much, to be honest.
I would have preferred the Garen pick.
Well, Alawi is.
Ilaoi works versus the Mega Gnar, I guess. but
Alawi
versus
is hell to
Gnar,
lane
they
against
haven't.
if you're not experienced with the matchup. We don't know how experienced Robotic Grounds is. I know I always lose to Alawi's, but that's because I only play Cassiopeia mid. So, who knows?
Yeah. So I mean, I think the rest of the band, picks band, it's gonna be Varus Karma on the side of Imperial, and then Cogmore Zillion on the side of Cambridge. So all in all, I think we've got some strong engage on the side of Imperial, sticking to what they picked last time, and then sort of a similar style APIP. I think maybe they might have slightly more late game insurance coming out this game. Last game they sort of had the problem that their KO was a bit too short range, so they failed to do damage. Whereas Cogmore really can stand up and do the damage of 2. carries if he needs to.
Colbert
So-
is a high damage. In fact, the whole of Cambridge's team is quite high damage. You've got the Cass and Java now. None of these are full tanks. They're all going to do quite a significant amount, as opposed to I guess the similar actually on the side of ICL.
Now this I don't
Sejuani-
understand. We've got the Ignite coming out of the Zillion.
Well,
I
a
mean-
spellbook maybe, but
Potentially Spellbook. I mean Spellbook, is pretty good on Zillion. But why didn't he take it last game? I mean, I
Maybe
think
he was learning from his mistake.
learning from
Well,
his mistakes is.
I would
a
always
possibility.
advise against a Karma and a Lowy to take an Ignite on the team, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe
Does Caston normally build Morellonomicon to get the whatever it's called, the passive which reduces healing?
It usually does, but something like second or third item. So maybe they just want the guaranteed.
The guaranteed one. Again, you didn't need to take Ignite straight away though. Level 1 Ignite.
Maybe they're
Zillion.
just planning to
Take
do
the
some
spell book.
funky cheese in the bot lane with a Jarvan.
Again, the Orianna
that's
with
fine.
heal. Actually, I'm not a fan of this. Would much rather a TP or
Yeah.
just try a
So
TP, I guess, or Ignite.
He
but
he
not
picked
with
heal last game. It seemed to work fine. Just in terms of staying alive, he didn't die last game at all. So that's one thing to consider. Yeah. So I mean, picking Morello's as Castle is, I think, it's quite unconventional. Looking at what builds people go.
Look at Bilsi Bilgo. I would cast in. I'm assuming the Rod of Ages is a popular pick. Not that I would in
Yeah,
any
Rod
way
of
favour
Ages
Rod
are
of Ages on any
usually
mid laner. But it is popular on the melee ones for the
Yeah,
reasons of the tankiness. But
They don't
I don't know if
tend to
it's
go for the
truly
double
a
scaling
priority.
item anymore. With B tier, it's usually one. hit,
yeah, and this is quite a strong late game team fight out of Cambridge here. If they can just get to the late game, that didn't go well last time.
No, it didn't. They lost lane pretty much across the board apart from mid.
And if the lanes lose again, they are really lacking on the side of wave. They're casting until late game, cannot really do anything. And then with the Zillion helps, but again, without as the minions get stronger, she's not going to be able, or he's not going to be able to kill the minions with the bombs. And they're going to really struggle with just the Cogmore to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think they sort of have decent lanes. I think they have. It all depends on these Jarvan ganks. Sejuani's pulling off more. But like Cogmore is a fine laner right now. He's just quite prone to ganks. So
Yeah. Now, Orianna versus Caston is an interesting one because obviously in the early levels Caston struggles. In fact, the whole game's Caston struggles. Orianna with the shield is quite good at dealing with the Caston, but in the early levels, Caston is going to be pushed in very heavily by Orianna if Orianna's in any way trying to zone him off the CS. In which case, Jarvan's going to have quite an easy time getting in those early game. Probably should be able to burn Orianna's flash level 2 or 3. However, we did see last game Orianna actually not playing as aggressive as I would have liked to see her. T. Roland actually playing quite passive against the Kayle. We saw Kayle walking up, hitting the creeps with her sword instead of using her E to get the ones at a range of actually trading at all. So
yeah.
we'll see
So
what
I mean, even
happens.
the last game we predicted that Orianna would win quite easily in that matchup. Maybe we'll just see the Castellan, beat down on this Orianna and get a CS lead in the same way he did last game. I mean, that could potentially snowball into other lanes if Castellan's very good at roaming. So I think that's one of the ways which Cambridge can win this. But I think they really have to not get behind and just stick in it and keep their turrets up.
Keeping the turrets is something that the turrets up is something they struggled with last game with the failed dragon attempt there, or they just reacted to kill the dragon. Honestly, I feel like although Cambridge should have issues in the lanes, they're not going to be that easy to resolve. The main issues that Cambridge really need to focus on this game are the team fights and this team play. We saw oh crap, they're going for dragon, quickly try to stop them, with 3 people just sort of vaguely walk towards dragon and all get killed and losing 2 towers. Meanwhile, Nars just happily farming on the top lane and Ezreal sort of dancing, firing some Qs here and there. In that situation, you need to just don't go for dragon and push another objective. Really the team play of swapping objectives. We also saw, remember, the bot lane recall just as they saw the enemy bot lane appearing top instead of continuing to push the lane. They seem to be on the reactive side of things the whole time, going, crap, they've gone top. We also need to go top recall, and then just one step behind, and eventually losing all their objectives.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I think that was their first game playing together.
It was their first game playing together.
That was their first play game together, so potentially they'll have a lot of thoughts and a lot of, you know, thoughts going into this match of things they definitely could have done better. And maybe we'll see it come out this game. Maybe they'll actually have some strategy against what ICawin is pulling out. Because ICawin has actually pulled out basically the same team comp.
They have. Can they pull it off twice in a row? Normally it's a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, if we see them play a similar style in terms of like what they pull off, then maybe Cambridge can adapt to that because they have a good idea of what Imperial is going to do. I don't think we're going to see the level 1 fight that we saw last game, although the
it looks like
team is
ICL
going
are
for it.
straight away going for the invade. Let's see what happens here. Now, Zillion with the speed boost walks to the bush, sees them, runs away, runs in the wrong direction to begin with. Is he going to make it out?
That's one dead Zillion.
Gets
I think.
hit. The flash comes out.
Oh.
Sajani starts with Q, Zillion flashes out. Relatively harmless start. As long as it does leave the gank open. Zillion is very, very squishy in the early game. Sajani could do that, but then she's going to have a slow start with the Q as the level 1 ability. Bot lane will need to help them out. So, not too bad either way there.
Zillion's unsealed spellbook's going to help them get that.
But yeah, I wonder how Zillion wasn't actually ready for that, because it seemed like Zillion ran straight for that bush with the spell, with the speed up. And
Yeah.
managed to get there late, and then immediately might have been tagged, might have been shopping, might have been on Facebook, but walked into the bush, then immediately, as soon as they see him, he runs down and then changes direction back up again. That would have made some substantial difference. It's good that he didn't burn the flash immediately. So many times you see players see them and panic flash away straight away. They actually force the Dranies to level up the Q first in that situation. We're going to see how optimal. I'm interested to see how optimal plays as mid lane, because a lot of castings will tend to, in this kind of losing matchup, queue the minions, which is absolutely the wrong thing you need to do. You need to be keeping a constant pressure on the Orianna, queue her whenever your queue is up. Make sure she has to burn her mana on her shield and not damaging you, and that seems to be what he's doing. So early trades on the bot lane as well.
Bomb lands onto Varus. We'll see if Zillion is using his bombs on cooldown like he was last game with his Blitz Hook.
And we can see that what I predicted from the mid lane commentary, Cassin getting the lane into a very good position early on. Not quite at his tower, just about on the side of the lane though. Jarvan should have some free times. We're going to see if Daily Lemon Water is going to pick up on that. Cassin's ended up pushing the wave into level 3, but it's not going to remain. As he's taken quite a lot of damage with that red buff, does smite up to heal. We'll see how Gnar plays against Lau. I'm not experiencing this matchup whatsoever. Actually, the Cassin's doing fairly well against the Orianna. Orianna does not seem to be shielding at time. So Jarny and Jarvan are going to meet in the jungle for a second here, over the Rift Helm. Oh, Jarvan just about manages to get it. So Jarny's quite low health. Now they have knowledge of that. Jarvan should be able to have some free ganks for a bit.
This is some good performance out of the caster then. He's got a small CS lead.
Small CS lead, in fact, yep. Oh,
But
very heavy
more
Pokemon.
importantly,
They're going to have the
mana
Summoner
lead.
Hill. They did have the Summoner Hill on the Kog'Maw. Not a great start for the level 2. This is going to be a struggling lane. Now we need to see some early plays out of the Jarvan. In fact, I would have liked to see some aggression already. He saw Sajani was low health. We knew that Cassin was winning in the mid lane, and now I'd pushed up. I would have gone into the jungle and bullied that Sajani out of that situation.
Yeah, especially when you know she's taking the Q. She's going to be low health.
Yeah, she was low health. She took the Q. Both your mid and top were winning. It was on top half of the jungle. Now Orianna's now out of mana in the mid lane, and Caston still has most of his remaining, so this is a really good situation.
I'm just pained to see this bot lane with Zillion using his bomb on the wave such that none of the minions can get hit by the cog correctly. Don't do that. He's also out of mana.
And now the things come true. Sajani's on mid lane, gonna come in onto the Caston. Really needed to have flashed that Q. The flash joins up. The flash comes out from the Jarvan to finish off the combo, but it was not enough, not in time. That was a predictable gank as the Caston starts just getting a bit cocky with his lane advantage that he had there. Really, either he should have been further back or Jarvan should have been much closer to him.
Yeah, so
Jarvan is heading
wasting a
to the bot.
flash.
Jarvan's wasted the flash, but is coming bot. And although it's warded, they have not appeared to notice the ward. But instead of running straight down, he stays in the bush and recalls. I feel like that would have been a good gank opportunity. They are going to interrupt the recall. Does he not realise? Oh, they seem to have got really aggressive there, but that's because Sajani. So we're going to see how this one goes. Let's get into team fight. Varus is taking damage. They're going to have the 3v3. So Johnny comes in. Jarvan just falls in a 3v3. He really did not have a good enough opportunity for that team fight when it started.
Yeah, so they knew we had no flash, so that was really a very easy play.
And now look at the summoners across on the side of Cambridge. Pretty much all summoners burnt across the board, with the exception of Gnar and Zillion's flash. And Zillion's being tower knifed. That's the flash gone now. Okay. And Gnar really struggling heavily in the top lanes. As we predicted, the lanes are losing on the side of Cambridge.
Yeah, so it looks like Imperial were angry about that last game. It wasn't as clean as they wanted it to be, and they're trying to, you know, really shut down this Cambridge lineup as efficiently as possible. Yep. So this is almost first turret in the bot lane. I mean, this could even go
Gank
down.
comes in this
on
time from the
next wave.
Kana onto he's zigzagging, walking around trying to dodge the Qs, but it's not working for the caster. The shield comes out, blocks one of the autos, two of the autos, doesn't manage to block it off. You really need to get onto the tower before zigzagging because you just get hit by that bind man. Not great play coming out of Optimal.
Yeah, there's a lot of focus onto the cast, and it makes sense. He was probably one of the
Strongest player on the champion, which could, in theory, carry the game, although the 2-0 start for the Orion is now going to make his lane very difficult. And already 3-0 in 5 minutes, not good for Cambridge.
So the gold lead is about a bit more than 2,000. 6 minutes is quite a lot. But I mean, it's not. You know, it's not possible for them to come back on this so far. Stopwatches are now up. We see that Cog has stopwatch, and I think it'll be interesting to see whether he uses it.
It would be interesting to see who uses it. Nar's going in onto the Ilaoi, but misses the ult and misses the W, hits the Q, and immediately goes, whoops, run away as fast as I can. He has got flash up, manages to flash. Ilaoi's probably going to follow the flash and may not even need to. Got 200 health left. Ilaoi's going to give up. Oh, hits the last thing. He's got to dodge the tentacles. Nope, no tentacles are spawned. Very, very close.
Going for the kill.
And Sajani is going for the kill. This is not going to look good. He did not attempt the recall. He's going to bounce over. Oh, he's attempting to start like very slowly. He's going to recall. Sajani's tanking the minions. He's only got 300 left. Can robotic reality outplay this? He's going to dodge one. He gets hit by the shield. He's going to have to run away. But Sajani's moved back. He can now just run away safely at this point. Why is he staying? He's got to dodge the tentacles. Can he do it? There we go. We see a kill in the bot lane onto Pink Floyd. Cool.
Although Zillion did use a stopwatch.
So didn't use a stopwatch. Level 4 to level 6. I was not expecting the ult to come out, but he does pick up the kill in the end. That wasn't so bad as it could have been, but man, level 4 to level 6 in the bot lane, and Nara still not managed to recall. This is an interesting one. Zillion is now no longer the threat, so maybe he feels like he can take him. Doesn't look like he's going to get a safe recall off. Manages to get back to base, but again, that bot lane level 4 to level 6, and they managed to get into a fight. But it was a 2-for-1 in the end, not what I expected.
Karma's going to try go for the turret kill. He might be able to do it.
Might be able to get it.
Yeah, that's going to be the first turret.
But this series of events not so bad so far for Cambridge, or not as bad as they could be. They have got the outscaling comp where they just need to hold on. They can't have any mistakes like last time. You don't want to fight for the dragons in this game at all. You don't even want to attempt to steal the dragons at this point. Save the towers, save the gold as much as possible, and we'll rely on your item power spikes to get through. What are the item power spikes, would you say, for this team, for the Cogma and the Caston?
So I imagine Cog will be going for Rage Blade first, although he's delayed that significantly by going Berserker Freeze. In terms of the Caston, he really wants to pick up the Rod of Ages.
That's not much of a power spike item.
It's not much of a power spike either.
The Rod of Ages power spike. We've got to wait
I
for
think you're
it.
going to need to wait for the sheen on Rage Blade.
Yeah, whereas Oriana's going to hit a power spike with Realnomicon quite shortly.
Oriana does have the power spike throughout the whole game. In fact, she never really shuts down. Along with sometimes you get the shot waves out, and we saw last game that T-Roland, although I didn't like how he played the lane in the early game, definitely could get the shockwaves out. We see an invade coming onto the side of the blue buff, reminiscent of yesterday's games perhaps. Cambridge knows better though. Are they going to collapse down? Caston's heading in from the top, and ICO wisely, I think, very quickly decide to back away.
Yep. They didn't spot. I'm not sure if they spotted the pink rod there, but if they did, they probably would have known to back out immediately.
Karma's stolen! Attempted to steal it, but no. The Casa guy thought that was stun. That was so well timed by the Karma. That must have been so close. We're going to see down here. Colmore's getting the 1v1 with the Varus.
Oh, no.
Jarvan comes in to steal the kill. Guess it was kill secure. You did not want the Cogmore dying, but man.
Flash auto.
That's the result of the
Electrocute.
Karma taking the turret, which was probably a bad move because the solo gold, bonus gold went to Karma, which is not where you wanted it, and without the turret, it's much harder to keep the wave where you wanted it and to deny CS from this Cog.
Yeah, so really there's no reason to keep the bot lane bot after the turret's gone. They probably should have lane stopped so the bot lane goes top.
Zealand's looking for the gank here, but Karma's also there. It's a 2v2 mid versus support, but Jarvan comes into the back. No one noticed him approach from the back. Does have ult, but decides not to use it. Karma did have flash up, so they could have got out of that. I'm not sure if they're aware. Sejani's looking at the race on mid lane, attempting. Is Zillion going to spot as they walk in? Zillion walk. No, they spot and they ping the Sejuani. One bomb comes out, two bomb comes out. The stun hits, teleports over the wall, a knock up from the Jarvan, and that is a dead Sejuani. ICO looking to get a bit cocky here.
Yep, this is some good stuff coming out.
Now went for the 1v1 and escaped with a slither of health.
Yeah.
But he did leave the
Oh,
quite
it's
low,
given-
so
Lowry's gonna back, so he's gonna
Allow
be
it back,
punished
so
for that.
these two walking top is a bit of a waste of time, but good to get the pressure anyway. Make ICL scared that
Malawi
you're
might
actually
be
going to
going
come.
bot lane now. This would make sense. So bot lane's
makes
backing,
sense.
they're gonna go top.
And
is pretty
this may
standard.
cause some struggle for the Gnar, or admittedly, not actually that much. Gnar was already losing a 1v1 to Alawi, so this is a kind of lane swap, although with the extent that the lanes are winning, I might have kept it the same. Having said that, the Varus is only 7 CS ahead at the moment.
Yep. So the bot lane not going quite as well as they hoped for Imperial, although they did get first turret. Sadly, the bonus goal was onto Karma. So the AD carry disparity is not as big as they could have wanted. And in fact, this Caston's been keeping up in CS, even above.
Oh, Jarvan
the-
looking to be a bit trapped here between the Karma and the Orianna. Day Lemon Water getting shockwaved. Hopefully he doesn't try anything stupid like using the stopwatch in a dumb, dumb situation. Man, that was
Oh.
great time. I jinxed it there. I shouldn't have said that, but yeah, you don't want to use the stopwatch in 100% death unless you're just time wasting. There was no reason to time waste there. That was just a waste of the OP mastery.
So Zillion's teleporting top, which is good. Sort of save the turret. Nar's gonna be here. So
2v2 top
leaving
lane.
the Cog alone is a bit strange. Might just get killed by the Alawi.
Might just die in the 1v1. We have seen that before. Now there's two people coming in there because of the Jarvan death. Is looking like it will end up causing actually the mid lane tower to go down. We'll see how this bot lane matchup goes on top lane. Missing the bombs, getting
no.
rooted. Has the ult up. Come on. Oh there, he's gonna...
Oh,
It gets tanked, but the mid lane's coming in. Jarvan comes in to tank it off. Martin's Nilo Mega Gnar, but you don't manage to dodge the Varus Q. Come on, you've got to be dodging that. That was the most obvious Varus Q in the world, and the mid lane doesn't
well,
even to defend the tower. Cogmore in the
the
1v1 against the
Gnar
Alawi.
Nar blocks the
Gnar
Karma,
blocked the
which
Karma.
would have given the Zillion the healthy wanted.
The healthy wanted. Nar's coming in. Does manage to ult the Karma into the wall, and that's a great outplay, but
that-
Varus is going to be able to tank the tower. Oh, Varus is still tanking the tower.
might
Is
be
not
able
going to pick it up. No, the mid lane's still coming in. The teleport coming in, ult coming out, that's a double ult. They have flash up one of the Zonyas. Caston can't go and get in there, but there's two people, they're trying to come on, can they win this fight?
Pick up his
Vi fails to pick up the fight. In the meantime, Varus dies to the Gnar in the top lane. We have the Sejani running away desperately, but Karma, Cogmore even, and Caston just managed to catch up. Why is the directed down? They've taken me to him farming the top lane. We missed a kill, but...
Gnar was very close to killing the Varus, but he failed to pick up his boomerang.
he failed to pick up the boomerang, so they managed to fail the kill in the end there.
Yeah, another turret, 3 turrets down.
Again, we're seeing the turrets die so fast from the side of the game. They are managing to pick up some kills, but they're not making any proactive plays. They're just we're just taking advantage of the over-aggression of ICL, but not making any of their own.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really see how they're gonna, slow this down. Imperial sort of only speeding up in this game.
Well, we
And,
have only lost the outer wave of towers. This is still a defendable position. Baron is going to be the hard objective. Like, I really would not advise Cambridge at the moment to be thinking about a dragon. Zillion is going to ward it, so they'll be aware. In fact, at this point, I'd rather Zillion didn't ward the dragon so that they don't attempt to steal it. Just be blissfully ignorant of any dragons that ICL may or may not be taking, and you will live.
Yeah, sadly it's an Infernal Drake coming out. Wait, Oh,
It's
no,
Infernal
that's-
Drake, but they're going to take the Rift
No,
Herald
no, it
first.
looks like it's a cloud drake. I think my UI is bugged.
There's only the Infernal Drake portrait in the
Oh,
spectator.
I see, I see.
Oh, well, that's
Okay.
unfortunate. Rift Herald's going over to IC. That's going to be one more turret going down, probably.
Now they're looking to close in on the Alawi on bot lane. There's 3 people. The knock-up doesn't quite land. We're going to see if he can chase him down. The Rift Herald does come
Ultimate
out.
in about 5 seconds.
We're going to take the 3v1. Top lane's coming down. Let's see how it goes. There's 3v1 on... This is not going to look. It's not looking good for Kamo. Just a 3v1 on both lanes being mirrored. And in fact, they do get the kill off there onto the Alawi, but it is a wonderful one with both members being left very, very low. If the knock-up had hit at the start, it might have been a different story. But that kill was unfortunately matched in a top lane onto the Gnar, but just not as successfully from the side of Cambridge. There's overall a 2 for 1 on the side of ICL, and they are going to use the Repel to get this other tower down, breaching the inner tower wall.
Yep, I think it's pretty clean in terms of the objective control from IC.
We're seeing the Zillion's legendary wave here climbing out to try and kiff the Rift Herald. Now, ICL are playing a bit too aggressive here. They won't have had the chance to buy any items. We are seeing a huge amount of, well, not as much gold as actually expected, but still 1.2k on the Varus that could be used for something useful. Are Cambridge going to capitalise on the over-aggression here? I really think they do. That's the inner tower on mid lane down as well. That was an unnecessary tower to die as well. Again, 7k gold lead in 15
Yeah,
minutes.
so they just don't have the wave clear to stop it, really.
The wave clear to stop it. Are they going to try and
problem
collapse
with
on the
the Cassidy.
Orianna? No, they're not. Are they going to try the Dragon Steel? No, they got the blue buff still successfully though. Is Carthus going to die as a result? Well, if Carthus casted it, Jarvan's come to sacrifice himself to save him. Hopefully it won't be a sacrifice. The Varusok comes out but misses.
Oh!
and the Q is dodged by the Jarvan in the end. Now they're just quickly rotating to bot lane. Cambridge needs to react. Gnar is currently mega, so this is not a great timing for the TP. They don't have any wave clear to clear this one off. They're going to lose this tower straight away. In fact, they may even get tower dive. The Alawi's heading straight back to top lane to one Gnar. Oh, Gay Lemon Water's really aggressive there, but the Glacial Prison misses. This is my big good chance. Good chance on the top lane. The missing pings come out for the Glacial Prison. As we see.
We're just saying missed ultimate after missed ultimate.
Missed-
from Imperial team,
Missed ultimate after missed ultimate from Imperial, yeah.
Unfortunate stuff. Yeah. So,
I mean, on one hand you say it was a pretty good bait from the Jarvan to go in, then quickly go out again, baiting out, because, you know, Glacial Prison was obviously designed to stop the Jarvan ult in its tracks. But at the same time, could have aimed a bit further up.
Yep. What is there to say, really? I mean, Imperial's just going to play this out quite, you know, cleanly if they can.
We would hope, well, we would hope for Imperial's sake that they manage to clean this game up pretty fast. We don't want it going too long, because if they troll around, mess around for 10 minutes, it could go back into their favour.
I think that'll be
Robotic
upsetting,
Reality
really.
just walking up
Right.
to tank to have his ghost murdered by Alawi.
If this game goes on another 15 minutes, then we can start talking about Cambridge winning this.
Yeah. So currently we will talk about can Cambridge last the 15 minutes, and they haven't lost any of his inner towers, and actually Cambridge do have quite a good team to last against dives. You have Casted to be able to sneak off the strugglers at the back, you've got the Zillion ult, and you got the Jaro to trap, knock people up under the tower, but just will it be enough? Sejani is especially a threat at the moment. How tanky is that Sejani compared to any member of Cambridge?
We haven't seen much Orianna action this game.
No, we
No.
haven't actually. With
She's been quietly picking up kills.
quietly picking up kills, 3-0, but the Caston still has the higher CS at this moment. The CS advantages for ICL not as strong as they were as last game.
Yep. So something from Imperials, they didn't really prep this like bot lane wave. Like they should really have pushed it in that when they were grouped. But now it's going to take a while before it hits that turret, and they're delayed on the bot lane turret.
Delay on the bot lane tower, but it will be taken certainly. Delay is something you got to think about. As we said, Cambridge will have the late game advantage, but at 18 minutes, 19 minutes into the game, they have plenty of time.
So once this turret, assuming this turret goes down, which I think might not this wave, if Captain is here to clear it, then Imperial will have to look to break the the inhibitor turrets, and that might be quite hard.
Karma getting quite cocky there. Ricky P desperate to take out the pink one. Cogmore is having none of it. No kills as a result, but certainly enough to scare ICL.
Yeah,
Reminding
Cog
them
has
of their-
completed his Rage Blade, so he is doing that is his biggest spike, so he's doing damage now.
He's doing damage now. Still has a stopwatch, of course. Does he have the stopwatch, or is it a broken stopwatch?
No,
There's
he
the
has-
stopwatch.
That is the real stopwatch.
The Zillion used a stopwatch and then sold it.
I mean, that makes sense.
Makes sense. You don't necessarily always want the Zhonya's on your support Zillion. Much prefer to have the tier of the goddess.
Well, I mean, actually, some supports do that. The mana hungry one.
Now,
like
the
Sona
Baron
and
has
Nami.
been started, but as you can see, they have got the wards. The Zillion ult does the Zillion bomb does actually land on the Karma on the Varus, but is it going to be enough? There's no Mega Knight coming out. Cambridge are rushing in to get oh, the ult comes out of the Varus, decimates
my
Cass and the
goodness.
Zillion. One of the actual, well, getting completely wrecked. Glacial Prison misses again, but that was not enough. There were only two just hanging around on the other side of the wall. There was no reason to be there. Looks like they're going to manage to collapse onto the Cogmore. Flashes
Yeah,
the
so
shockwave
where
nicely,
was
but
Jarvan in that?
Jarvan
Where
was
that?
running to Baron Pit, but they did not. They were not aware. The only way they noticed the Baron when it even been started was by someone walking up and putting a ward back at the wall. Feel like
Yeah,
it was just
so-
poor ward placement. If we look at the control, the ward coverage out the side of Cambridge, and there's barely anything here. Cogmore's attempting the 1v1 on the Karma again. The stopwatch now comes out, and the root comes out, but the counter stopwatch, he does have Flash and Heal. Can he manage it? Flash and Heal comes out. Zillion also comes out for some reason. This is not a great thing. Daily Lemon Water's Ghost dying. Zillion is now being wasted again. Nah,
I think that's
nowhere
probably
near the
the
Mega again.
best stopwatch we've seen this game.
The best stopwatch we've seen this game, in fact. The worst Zillion ult we've seen this game as well, after not realizing that the Flash and Heal were up on the Cogmore. Should have really communicated that in advance. We're going to look to see 2 inhibitors taken from Imperial.
Yeah, I think it depends how cocky Imperial are being, but they could probably end this right now if they felt like it.
Yeah, I agree. They could just walk in and take this.
Might back out. They're gonna play it clean and come back and take this in about, I'd say, about a minute and a half time. So
Yeah, they're going to take. Are they going to go the tutorial, take the third inhibitor route, or 14k in 21 minutes, 22 minutes? So we're getting a 2k lead per minute on average here.
yeah. So I mean, these two teams, not too interesting of a matchup. But what is interesting of a matchup is ICawin versus Extra Thick. I believe
Hey.
they're playing against each other in
Yep.
the.
Well, let's not
second
get
round
ahead
of
of those game. We could still see a 2-1 out of. I don't remember what the team name is. Out of bunch of randoms.
Yeah,
Well,
fair enough.
Maybe if two or more members of the Imperial team suddenly have internet issues.
We
Yeah.
have some internet issues. If we can bait some inflammatory comments, and
Yeah.
they get disqualified for bad sportsmanship.
Potentially Cambridge. for
These
some
are
bribe.
Cambridge's bribery. Yep, of course. That's also a valid strategy.
Maybe
Not one commonly used in LCS, but how would we know?
talk about how good Cambridge is, and at least 4 members of the Imperial team will break down in tears.
Yep.
Maybe anyone want to just get up your... If you're watching in Twitch chat and you're from Cambridge, can you just maybe DDoS the... Nah, let's not do that. We can't throw in DDoS, it's against Twitch rules, but yeah. That was a joke. That was a joke, just to clarify. The Varus ult comes out. The Zillion ult actually lands onto the...
That was a
Onto the
decent
Jarvan.
Zillion ult.
A decent Zillion ult. Glacial Prison comes out on the Gnar, but what we've seen, Gnar still not Mega. The Shockwave comes out onto Zillion.
my
Kills the
God.
Zillion in the end. Cassin running away. Gnar coming out. Not much else to be done on the side of Cambridge. Flashing away. Gnar finally has the Mega, but misses the ult on everyone. Jarvan comes in, ults and immediately dies. This Gnar pick, as I said in the previous game, missing every ability in the team fights when it mattered, and most of the time not even having Mega Gnar in the team fights.
Karma just felt like it in team.
Finally felt like in team. The Zillion rage quit. And that's it. 2-0. 2-0 to IC, a win. Is it IC
Yeah.
win or I Cup?
IC
Yeah,
a
IC
win.
win. There we go. There are too many different names that are similar.
Yeah. Yeah, very quick game. Was that faster than the last one or not?
I can't remember.
Yeah. I can't remember either. Felt like a similar level of a stomp as yesterday.
It
No
was-
17-minute win.
Yeah, no 17-minute
Oh,
wins.
yeah, there was. Yeah, but yeah, true. There was the 17-minute win. So we could maybe say that Extra Six stomped the what was it? Bronze. I can't remember what the name was. Dirt Division Ambassadors. Yeah. Harder than ICawin stomped. What are they called? Bunch of randoms.
Bunch of randoms.
So maybe that implies that Extra Thick has got an advantage over ICawin.
I don't know why the name Bunch of Randoms is so hard to remember, given that they are. That's how they play. That's what they are, a bunch of randoms. And for a bunch of randoms, we got to give them credit. They didn't get destroyed in 15 minutes by the experienced, one of the top ICL teams. Given that these are random solo queue members, some of whom haven't really played solo queue, really ever, or much at all.
Some good play from the mid laner.
Good play from the mid laner, not
If
quite
they
enough
had
to
maybe
carry.
someone else that could draw.
If they maybe had 2 players who weren't incompetent, they might have been able to. They might have been able to survive more than 20 minutes.
That's just cruel.
But
Yeah.
thank you everyone for tuning into the stream. Tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. we're having hopefully a much closer game between currently untitled and
Fine British Salt.
Fine British Salt, currently entitled out of Cambridge. Fine British Salt out of ICL. Currently entitled is the top Cambridge team. I can't remember where they placed in the Newell. Didn't quite get nationals. Fine British Salt. I don't remember encountering Fine British Salt in the Newell.
So they were not our top team, and they were somewhere around, I think, 4th or 5th. In terms of team rankings, there
Somewhere
was
around 4th or 5th in terms of team rankings. Well, that is certainly higher than currently entitled was, but it should be.
Oh no,
very
I mean in
close match.
terms of the Imperial team.
Oh, in terms of Imperial team rank. Oh well, I'm hopeful for our game tomorrow.
Yep. So maybe we'll actually see a Cambridge win.
We will hopefully see a Cambridge win tomorrow.
At the very least, we'll see a closer game.
We'll see a much closer game. Might go to 3 games.
When are you playing, Toby?
I'm playing on Saturday, 8 p.m.
Toby's play. Yeah, Saturday 8 p.m. is Icy Monkeys, the top Imperial team, which Toby is playing in, versus See You Later Alligator outside of Cambridge, which is our second team. That should also be a fairly close one.
Yep.
So once again, thank you all for watching. Tune in tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. for the match of the century. I will be playing mid lane.
Interview.
We could do a winners interview if anyone has a winner available.
I've got a winner available.
Or a losers interview. Who wants to see a losers interview?
Let's do that. Why not? I don't know if you have them available.
Well, we'll check if we get a losers interview available. I'm going to contact the jungler out of Cambridge to see if he's actually got Discord installed.
Do we know if they were actually in voice communications that game?
I'm gonna hope they're in voice communications.
Never gets old.
Never gets old. Well, I know last time the teams were not in voice communication on the side of Cambridge, but that's because they were in the same room. So.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It looks like we are going to be getting a losers interview with Daily Lemon Water here, the Elise Jarvan player out of Cambridge. So stick around just a few seconds. Wait for us to join the correct server here. Now I'm going to be playing tomorrow in the currently entitled versus Fine British Salt. So. Hopefully we could put them on. Okay, let's see if we can add him. I haven't actually got. Let me add him on Discord first of all. Right, we should be getting Lemon Water. His name is Soon Woo. If I pronounced that correctly. Hello, Daily Lemon Water. Good to see you in high spirits after your devastating loss there. How was it first of all in your first game when you realised that you weren't getting the Jarvan? Were you annoyed that you have to play Elise? I know you main Elise.
No, actually, yeah. It's just I main Elise. It's like when you see my op.gg, it's like at least is I have 25 win rate or something percent. But actually, that's my main, so I was quite happy about it.
So you're quite happy that you didn't get the pick you chose. What
Yeah,
a
I was
great,
alright.
what a great pick
mean-
ban strategy that is.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know about the proxy thing, and getting to tell the other
That's
captain
true.
about it.
That's true. Well, apparently, the team captain didn't know about it either. Wait, so were you thinking they were going to pick Heimening? We were like, they're just trolling us. They're gonna just cheese us with Heim top.
Yeah, at first, yeah, but the other guys have explained like
Yeah, they're
what's
gonna
going
explain
on,
the
and-
proxy pick.
Yeah.
And moving on to games, were you expecting to be destroyed that easily?
Yeah. I mean, we all knew it coming, so.
You all saw it coming. Okay, so you were
Yeah,
expecting to
we
be
all
lost.
kind of enjoyed it, and yeah.
We noticed the Zillion rage quit at the end of the last game. Was he having was he having a tough time there in the bot lane?
No, it was fine. He just, yeah, it was not a rage quit.
It wasn't a rage quit. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think finally, who do you think on your team is most responsible for your loss?
Right, I guess the most wise answer should be me.
Very diplomatic. Very diplomatic. Actually, I've got another
Yeah,
question.
always blame a jungler when you lose a game, right?
Now, yeah, as the mid laner, yes, it's definitely your fault. But
Yeah.
and I guess what I want to say, I believe you're the only Korean person on either team actually. How does
Oh,
it feel to
really?
have let your country down?
I mean, I've been always letting my country down by being ranked in silver in EU server, so I guess yeah, it's not a new thing.
It's not a new thing. Okay. Well, thank you very much to Dane Lemonwater for having the losers interview. Join us tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. where Cambridge will definitely 2-0 this ICL team because I'm playing. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank
We'll
you
see you
very
next
much
time.
for commentating. Thank you.
Yep.